So now that we have our data frame ready, it's time to save it to the hard drive. To save a data frame, we need to use a data frame writer. And to get access to the data frame writer API, we will use the write method that the data frame interface has. So this is, as the definition already stated, an interface for saving the content of the non-streaming dataset out into an external storage. So the external storage can be anything like the hard drive or even a cloud storage like Amazon S3 or Google storage, or even a relational database. So here we will have like the write method, it will returns a data frame writer, and now we can configure the data frame writer. The first thing we want to do here, we want to save our file as CSV, and the CSV file format is one of the core format of Apache Spark. That's why it comes with a pre-built method that will then store our file as CSV. So what we need to do here, now we have to pass in a path. Let me copy that. So where I stored my data, I will create a new folder there called, I will just store the file onto the same path. So let me go there, put this one there and name it the output, and we will call our file customer contact list. That's all we need to do to save a CSV file. Let's see how this works. We'll build. And run it. So the save operation was successful. Now let's take a look into the folder to see if the file is there. So you can see here that although the output folder wasn't present at the time of running this code, Apache Spark automatically create the folder, the first folder, and also a second folder. So the path we enter here, Apache Spark always save files into a folder, and inside that folder you will have many path files. The thing is, when you have a large file, a quite large file, let's say a couple of terabyte, it is not really possible to handle off this data on one machine. That's why files are split into partitions and spread across a cluster or across a distributed file systems. And every partition is then a part. So when comes time to save the file, every partition will be saved as a part file. That's why in our case this only one partition, and that's why we only have one part file available right now. So let's take a look into this file. There you are. This is a great file. Everything is correctly saved. But there's one thing you will notice here. When values are missing, we have empty cells, and also there's no header, so there's no way to tell what each column really means. So we need to configure that one. So let's do that. To do it, we will pass in some options, and as previously with the data frame, you can see with the data frame reader, the data frame writer also have a method called options that can either take a dictionary of options or can take each option separately. So here we will pass in some option. The first option will be that we need a header. So yes, please write a header. And the second option is what to do with null values. So we'll pass in something like that, null value. And here we can pass a string that tells Apache Spark how to represent null values in our file. We will just say write a string null there. And then let's build it again. Build and run. Let me close the file. Well, as you can see, saving the file failed. Now let's take a look what's the reason for that. Okay, here you have path file already exists. Okay, this is clear. Apparently we can save to a file if the path is already existent. The way to prevent this error in the future is to always configure the save mode. Apache Spark has 4 save modes that allows you to tell the system what to do if the file you are trying to save to is already existent. So we will say save mode dot append. Append means just append the data to the existing one. Error if exist. This is the default mode. So if the path we want to write to is already existent, then we will have an error. Ignore means don't do anything. And override, I think, is self-explaining. We will just overwrite the existing data. And we should always specify the save mode to avoid any unpleasant results. So in our case, we know that the data haven't changed, so it's okay if we just overwrite them. So we specify the save mode and we are fine to go again. So to save a data frame to an external data source, we use the write method, we specify the save mode, and we pass in some additional options. And then we specify the type we want to write and the path. So we've built this. Let us run this again. Now you can see that the operation was successful, and we can take a look again. Here we are. Great. Now you can see that when values are missing, there is a null there, and also the first rows of the file now has there's now a header available in the file, and you can also see that the header is the same as the name of the column in our data frame. So this is one way how you can save CSV file to the disk. There's also a second way where you can do this, and this is by using, you can say customer dot write, then we set the format, and then we said okay, you want to write a CSV file, and from here on we can also pass in the same options as before, because this is a data frame writer, so the format method returns a data frame writer. That's why we can, from here on, we can then say the mode, how to write, or also pass options as with native method like CSV files. So let's take a look again into our file. Okay. Now we have everything necessary to build the customer contact list. And in fact, I will say that we master the task. We have everything, the first name, the last name, country, city. State is missing. Oops, nope, state is not missing. State is there, street is there, the street number, the postal code, and the email address. So with this file, we have everything necessary to build our customer contact list. Therefore, we can then call back to the business department and send them back this file and say, go and build your report.